What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and joining me for this review. Do you want to talk about Love Without Borders? Because I sure do. So let's get started. This is season one, episode one of Love Without Borders, and it's kind of like a 90-day fiance. Like if 90 Day Fiance and Married at First Sight had a baby, and boom, we have this child called Love Without Borders. And it's a lot like 90 Day Fiance in the sense that we're dealing with international relationships, we're dealing with visas, passports, etc. And it's a little bit like Married at First Sight because it's the people, when they meet for the very first time, they immediately start living together. Now, obviously, they're not married like Married at First Sight, but they have to start cohabitating immediately as soon as they meet each other. So, yeah, this is the brainchild of the newest brainchild of Bravo. I can just imagine the executives sitting around in the boardroom trying to think of another show, and someone is like, why don't we do like a 90 Day Fiance Married at First Sight kind of thing? So here we go. The first person that we meet is a young lady by the name of Garlene. She is 28 years old, from San Diego, and she is over the whole San Diego dating scene. She doesn't want to do casual dating. She wants something more serious. She's really looking for monogamy. And the dating scene in San Diego, I guess, is a little bit too casual for her. She doesn't fit in with the whole hookup culture of San Diego. She's a dog lover. She's fiercely independent. She lives alone. She has two dogs, and she's a very independent type of woman. She relies completely on herself 100%. So she is, once they find this match for her, the match is going to be outside of the United States. So she's going to be living in another country with this person as soon as they meet. And she talks about how most of her friends are either married or in long-term relationships. And so she's desperate for a relationship of her own. So Erica, who is the host of the show, we only have like one expert, and she's going to be doing a lot from what I saw in this show and from this episode and what I saw in the next episode. She's like hooking people up, and she's also going to be like the therapist or the counselor type of person for all of these couples. Yeah, she's going to have her hands full. So Erica, the host, comes over to Garlene's home, and she tells her that they found a match for her and that she's going to be leaving immediately. We also find out that Garlene, she is of Indian descent. Her parents are from India, and she talks about how her parents had never said "I love you." And later on in the episode, she talks about how her household was very cold. It wasn't warm. It wasn't affectionate. And the only thing that I can say about that is, I think sometimes we have to, now, unless her parents were just like purposely not wanting to be affectionate or to say I love you to their children, they were just like on purpose emotionally abandoning their children. But if it's not to that extreme, I think we have to show our foreign parents a little bit of grace, because in a lot of countries, it's not that common for parents to say I love you to each other or to their children. It's not that common, to do all the hugs and kisses and cuddles and all of that. A lot of cultures are just not that affectionate. And so, she knows her parents more than I do, but sometimes I feel like, we cannot always compare our culture in America to other cultures, because it's just so drastically different. And just because they don't do the things that we do here, it doesn't mean that your parents didn't love you. But like I said, she knows her parents better than I do. Let's move on. So as she's packing for this trip, she is like overcome by anxiety. She begins to like have a panic attack or something. So she takes a break. She tells them that she needs a break from the cameras. She runs upstairs to, I guess, collect herself. Erica goes up there with her, talks her off the ledge, and I guess she's ready to move forward. But she was like really overwhelmed with the whole process, even though, she's excited, looking for love, they found a match for her. She still got a little bit overwhelmed. So when they get to the airport, the host tells her where she's going to be going to start her new life. So I guess the host hands her her plane ticket, and it lists the country that she's going to be going to. And Miss Garlene is on her way to Dubai. Okay, y'all, Dubai. I was like, what? Oh my God. So yeah, she's going to be going to Dubai. I don't know what I was expecting, but I sure as I wasn't expecting Dubai. So she is really excited about that. So she arrives in Dubai, and she's going to be there for 12 weeks. And when she gets there, I automatically am thinking, because she walks into a building and she's talking to someone like at her front desk. And so I automatically assume that she was at a hotel. And then I have to remind myself, no. She's not going to be staying at a hotel. She's actually going to be living with her potential partner. So I guess this is the building that they live in. And so she goes to the elevator, goes up to the floor that she's supposed to be at, knocks on the door. And lo and behold, it's not a man that answers the door. It is a woman. And so Garlene is like, confused as hell. Like, what the hell? What's going on here? I thought I was supposed to be meeting a man. So the door opens wider, and her intended love is there. His name is Shreyas. The person who opened the door happened to be his sister. So there is a man there waiting for her. His name is Shreyas. He's 30 years old. He's also of Indian descent. And I'm not sure exactly what he does. I forgot. I didn't take that down, but he's also a model. So the show concentrated a lot on his modeling career, more so than whatever else he does for a living. And we saw like a plethora of his pictures. He's a very good looking guy. He is cut, has a nice body. His pictures were like practically breathtaking. He's got longish hair. He keeps his hair up in a ponytail. Very good looking guy, beard, everything. So I thought, he was adorable. So when she walks into his apartment, it's not just him and his sister, it's also his parents. So she also has to meet his parents. And this is going to be her new home. She's going to be living with his entire family. So she wasn't expecting all of that. So she says he's a good looking guy, but she normally does not date Indian men because she's got trust issues with Indian men. And she didn't expound on that, but I would like to know more about that. She said that she normally dates tall Caucasian men. So this really isn't her thing, but it might just be. So the question is she willing to give up her independence in California to live with this man and his entire family in Dubai? So she says that he looks like Aquaman, but she's not really attracted to him. I guess, as soon as she saw that he was of Indian descent, I think maybe something in her mind just was like, completely like, okay, shut it down. We're done here. Nothing to see. I don't know if she's keeping an open mind to any of this, because the thing is, when people go on these shows where they are supposed to marry a stranger or meet a stranger and then fall in love and get married or whatever, like if you're going to go on a show that's handling relationships in this really extreme manner, you have to be open-minded. I don't know why people go on Married at First Sight or Love is Blind. They go to all of these shows where you're going to be supposed to like living with or getting married to or spending a whole bunch of time with someone that you don't know. And as soon as they see them, it's like, oh, this is not what I typically date. Okay. And what you typically did wasn't working for you. So we're trying something different. So you should expect something completely and utterly different than what you're used to. That's the whole point of these shows. I just don't understand why people are like, Garlene was just like, oh, I don't really date it. We know you don't date Indians. You know that you normally date white guys, but that wasn't working out for you. But she did say that she has trust issues with Indian men. So I don't know. So on day 2, they're at breakfast, and his father, Shreyas' father, shows her all of Shreyas' modeling pictures. And Garlene, I think, kind of thought it was it was unexpected. Okay. She said, it's kind of strange, that his father was showing me all these pictures on his phone. These modeling pictures of his son, but I guess, he's a really proud father. I don't know why she thought it was strange. The father is obviously very proud of his son, and he kept all these pictures on his phone of his son, but Garlene just made a note of it, mentally, like, oh, okay, so he keeps these pictures of his son on his phone, these modeling pictures of his son. At the breakfast table, they talked about his beard, Sharice's beard, because I think the father asked her, what do you think about his beard, or something like that. And Garlene said that she's not really crazy about men with beards, but it's whatever. And the father shows her a picture of Sharice without his beard. He's a good looking guy. He has a nice face, a very nice face, a very nice body. So to me, he looks good either way. And they asked her, why don't you like men with beards? And she said that when you kiss them, the beard gets in the way, or something to that effect. So here we go. She doesn't like the beard. She thinks he looks like Aquaman. So we know where this story is going. So after that, they're on their way to lunch, and they're driving on, I guess it was like a freeway or something. And he was apologizing to her about his car, that it wasn't, as clean as it should have been. And she was like, no, your car is fine. Your car is very, very clean. And he says to her that in Dubai, you get a massive ticket if your car is extremely dirty. I was like, wow, that's insane. So they sit down for lunch, and they talk about their backgrounds, their upbringings. And he talks about how when he was much younger, he was chubby and he was extremely shy. He was so shy to the point that other kids, even like little girls, were making fun of him and bullying him for being so intensely shy. And I think he said that he got out of his shyness when he had broken up with a girlfriend or something. Something about that breakup kind of like pulled him out of his shell, and he became a little bit more extroverted. And of course, he's definitely extroverted, because some of those model pics, where he was like shirtless and all of that. I mean, you got to be an extrovert to take those kind of pictures. And so then they talk about her background, and she talks about, how her family was not very affectionate, didn't show a lot of love. Nobody said, I love you. The first time she heard her parents tell her that they loved her, she was 25 years old. And so I don't know if her parents, like I said, were just like emotionally abandoning their children, or if this is just culturally, they just didn't do that, but I don't know. So she talks about that. And of course, she talks about how independent she is. And he says, yeah, I noticed that about you. You're very, very independent. And she's like, yeah, so this whole living with a family thing, it's really not my zhuzh. So I think it'd be a whole lot better for us to get to know each other if it was just the two of us. And he tells her that, I'm sorry, but my family is really important to me. He says, I like spending time with my family. I enjoy my family. So yeah. And in his confessional, he says to us that he wants to show her that family life can be a blessing, communal living, or, the whole family living together. He wants to show her that that could be a blessing. It could be just as good as, if not better than, living by yourself. And I was like, okay, you got your work cut out for you, because Garlene arrived, I think, with a little bit of a closed mind, and she wants what she wants, and she wants it how she wants it. So I don't know if she's ever going to really open up to living with his family, but we shall definitely see. So the whole thing about Garlene is, she's not that attracted to this guy. Because of the family being there, I don't know if he can really express how he really feels about her. I don't know how he feels about her. They really didn't let us know if he found her attractive, if he was really digging her. I didn't see much chemistry really between them. So I don't know if it was because, the family was sort of interfering, or if there just ain't no damn chemistry between them. I have no idea, but we shall definitely see. So we're going to move on now to Philip Michael Thomas Jr. Now, if that name sounds familiar to you, it should, because it was hella familiar to me. I was like, Philip Michael Thomas Jr. I was like, that sounds like the guy from Miami Vice. And sure enough, I looked it up, and he also tells us on the show that he is the son of Philip Michael Thomas, who was on Miami Vice. Now, let me go step by step because I have a lot to say here. So, Philip Michael Thomas Jr., he's 35 years old. He lives in Atlanta, and he tells us right off the bat that he loves some ice cream. He loves ice cream. And not only does he love ice cream, he wants to find a woman that loves ice cream as much as he does. He's a musician. I don't want to say a struggling musician, but he's still trying to find his big break, let's say. Ever since his last breakup, for whatever reason, I really wasn't paying attention, he has become celibate. So, like I said, he's the son of Philip Michael Thomas of Miami Vice fame, and he is one of 15 children by Philip Michael Thomas. And I was like, let me look that up. 15? Did he say 15 children? So I looked it up. I Googled Philip Michael Thomas Sr., and you know how they list the children, and I counted, and I think I only got to like 12 or something. Yeah, I think it was about 12. I guess Google ran out of room to list all the other children because Philip Michael Thomas Jr. was not in that list. And when we meet Philip Michael Thomas Jr., we also meet his brother, who's also the child of Senior. And so, but I didn't see their names listed there. I saw 12 children listed, and none of them were Philip Michael Thomas Jr. or the brother. But like I said, Google probably ran out of room. So his mother passed away when he was really young. His dad, the actor, was not really around. And so his brother, the one that we meet on the show, is the one that primarily raised him. And he said that he never had a traditional family unit, but that is what he strives for. He wants to have that for himself. He wants to have a wife, 2.5 children, the white picket fence. He wants that traditional family unit. So the host, Erica, comes by and tells him, we found you a match. So pack your bags and let's go. And he's like, right now? And she's like, yes, right now, at this very moment, let's go. So he starts packing his stuff, and homeboy also wants to take with him his cleaning supplies, his Clorox and his Lysol and his all kinds of stuff he wants to take with him, which is fine. He says he's a bit of a germaphobe. Okay, fine. But can you take that stuff on the plane? Because I thought you couldn't even take like a bottle of lotion on the plane. You have to put everything in like those little miniature travel containers. Like you can't take I was confused about that. Did he get that stuff on the plane? So he wants to take his cleaning supplies with him. And I thought it was really sweet that he wanted to take this, either it was like a perfume or a cologne that his mother used to wear that he likes to spray around because it reminds him of his mother. So he's going to take that with him as well. And I thought that was really sweet and touching. So the first thing he wants to do before he gets on the plane is he wants to cut off his locks because he's got these, I think they're like, no, they go down to his back, these really long locks, and he wants to cut them off. So he goes to the barber, cuts off his locks, and his hair was okay once he cut his hair. It was all right. I feel like I kind of preferred him with the locks, but it was okay. So they arrive at the airport, and that's where Erica, the host, tells him where he's going to be going. And so the ticket says he's on his way to Ghana, Africa. And he is super stoked about that because his mother had been to Ghana right before she passed away. So that country has a lot of meaning to him. And he also tells us that he was supposed to go to that country with his mother, but it never happened. And he said that his mother was in Ghana building schools with the Marleys. And I'm like, as in Bob Marley? This is interesting as hell. So he's really excited about going to Ghana. He gets on the plane. He's stoked. He's excited. He arrives in Ghana, and the first thing he says is like, it's hot as hell. And he takes off his shirt because it's so hot. He has on an undershirt. It is so hot up. I mean, it looks hot. And on the screen, it tells us that it's 96 degrees. Yeah. So he finds a taxi. He gets in the taxi, and they're driving on the road, and all these vendors, come to the window selling their wares, their goods. And for whatever reason, Philip Michael Thomas Jr. says, "Hola." I was like, okay, we're not in Guatemala, we are in Ghana. And so they get to the destination and he walks up to the home that he's going to be living at. And of course, there's a lot of anticipation and excitement about who is going to answer the door. So the door opens and Carmen answers the door. So this is going to be his lady love for the next 90 days. Now, Carmen is gorgeous. She is very, very beautiful. Caramel complexion. She has these, I think were they twist or I don't know. I think they were like dreadlocks or something. I think they were locks as well. Really long. I think they were like faux locks. Very beautiful, cute shape. We find out that she is a model and they show us her modeling pictures. And then I was thinking to myself, okay, now we've got two models on this show. We have Carmen and we have Sharayas in Dubai. This is when I start thinking to myself, okay, these people are not here for true love. They're just here to further their careers, get some clicks and views on their social media platforms, get some followers, and try to get that blue check. That's that blue check mark. That's what I'm thinking, because it's like, okay, these are very beautiful people. And I'm talking about like the foreigners. These are very beautiful people and they're models and they're entrepreneurs. Y'all can't find nobody. Y'all got to go on a television show to find love. Come on now. So anyways, back to Carmen. She's a model. They show us her modeling pictures. Drop dead gorgeous. She's also an entrepreneur. She designs African inspired jewelry and African inspired fashion. So she's doing her thing. So here we have two artists, right? I thought that was like a pretty good match. We have these two artists. He's a musician. She's a whatever fashion designer. And I'm thinking like, okay, this is going to be good. They're both creative. This should be a pretty good match. She's actually from Austria. She tells them that she's been living in Ghana for only 4 years. And she's originally from Austria. Her mother's, I don't know which parent is which, but she says she's half Austrian and half Ghanaian. Ghanaian. Okay. She says that, she found him attractive. She liked his beard. He definitely found her attractive. Okay. He was so happy when he saw her. Okay. She blew him away. And, so they get to know each other. They go inside and he's a germaphobe, right? So he takes out his cleaning supplies and she says in her confessional, he took out all of his cleaning stuff. And I was like, what did he think he was going to be walking into for him to need all that cleaning stuff? It's like, girl, he has a condition. Okay, girl, he has a condition. He's a germaphobe. Okay. So, no matter where he was going to bring his cleaning supplies. And they're talking in the living room and he's like kneeling down. He's on his knees, but he doesn't want his shoes to touch, I guess, the carpet, because he has his feet positioned in such a way that the bottom of the shoe is not touching the carpet. And so he says, I'm going to take my shoes off because I just don't want to get your carpet dirty. I don't want to. It's because he's a germaphobe. That's all that is. So he was really uncomfortable with putting his shoes on the carpet. And so after that, after they get to know each other a little bit better, they go outside on the balcony and he's like, what is that I'm smelling? And he has like a happy look on his face, like it's something smelling really good. And she says, well, around here in this neighborhood, the people burn their trash. So you're smelling burning trash. And he was like, oh, okay. Cause he thought it was something else, something a whole lot better than burning trash. And then after that, she shows them how to take, I guess like a traditional, Ghanaian bath or shower. So in the shower, there is no faucet for the water to come down. There's a bucket. And then there's like a scoop. And so you have to take like a bucket shower and the water's cold. And so he was like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, do this, but he did it. And he was fine. Okay. It's okay. All you need is water and soap, whatever form they come in, as long as they come. Right. So he's kind of like, I'm not sure if I could live here permanently, but I'm definitely vibing with her, definitely getting along with her. She calls her sister and she tells her that she's happy. She's like, yeah, he arrived and, everything is going good. He's cute. He's nice. And so on both sides, it seems like there's definitely an attraction there, and that's good to know. But we know that, the honeymoon don't last forever. Moving on to Dana Dana from Montana, 38 years old. She's also a musician. Like I said, these creatives, these artist types, I'm beginning to think y'all are just here, for popularity. Y'all ain't really trying to find love. So she is from Montana, and she lives out of her van. She had a really bad breakup. And for whatever reason, she was like, okay, I'm not going to live in a house anymore. I'm going to go live in my van. So she bought a van, fixed it up, and she travels and she lives and does everything out of her van. She said that her parents divorced when she was 13 years old. It was very, very traumatic for her and her brothers. And she says she's comfortable in chaos. I liked how that sounded. I know it's not a good thing, but it just sounded really nice. Comfortable in chaos. Her dad is really sad about her leaving. Her dad is not happy about this process at all. She asked her dad, well, if I happen to go somewhere that you don't like, are you still going to visit me? He was like, hell no. Nope. Mm-mm. He says, in fact, I don't want you to go at all. I hope it doesn't work out for you because I want you to come back. Dana says that she's willing to do anything and go anywhere for love. So Erica arrives, takes her to the airport, and while they're at the airport, that's when Erica reveals to Dana where she's going to be going. And so Dana hands her the ticket, and she looks at it, and she's like, oh, wow. And she acted like she was excited, but I felt like she also looked a little bit confused, like she really wasn't sure. And so the ticket said Dublin. And I'm like, girl, you know where Dublin is, right? And so Erica tells her, you're going to Ireland. And then she was like, oh, yes. That's where she really it sunk in, or she really understood that she was going to Ireland, because I don't think she knew or even heard of Dublin or knew where it was. And so after Erica tells her that you're going to Dublin, she was like, oh, I wonder if the guy that I'm going to meet is going to be wearing a kilt. Have you ever seen a map, Dana? Have you ever looked at a map? You're not going to Scotland, you're going to Ireland. Okay. So on the plane, she completely breaks down on the plane. She starts feeling overwhelmed. She's feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, because she's worried about whether or not this is even going to work out. She's like, if this doesn't work out, I have nothing to go back to. I don't know what she meant by that. You're going to go back to your van. Maybe she sold her van. Maybe that's what she meant. I don't know. She goes, if this doesn't work out, I have nothing to go back to. Like, girl, stop being so overdramatic. Your dad has a really nice home. I'm pretty sure your dad will let you stay with him until you get back on your feet. So she's beginning to have second thoughts about this whole thing. She finally arrives in Dublin, and she's about to get into a taxi, but the driver tells her, well, where you're going, it'll be a whole lot quicker if you took a train instead of driving there. So she ends up getting on a train with her, huge luggage. She gets on the train. It was a 2.5 hour train ride. So she finally gets to her destination, and she meets Brian. So Brian is 35, and he is a chicken and vegetable farmer. He used to be a salesman, but he left that life. He left that corporate life, to get out there, I guess, in the country. And she finds him attractive. She comments on his pretty blue eyes, and there's definite chemistry there. So as physically, they're both into each other. There's that attraction on both sides. So they have dinner together, they get to know each other. They talk about their families. He comes from a big family. She comes from a big family. He tells her what she does, a chicken farmer, vegetable farmer, and she was like, wow, I think I found the man of my dreams. So she's okay with his lifestyle and what he does for a living. She tells him she's a musician, songwriter. He's cool with that. So they're vibing. Dinner's going really, really well. They are absolutely vibing. They go on the couch. They get a little bit more intimate. They're talking. They're conversating. Everything is going really, really well. So then she says she wants to go take a shower. So she goes upstairs. She takes a shower. And I guess when she was done, oh, by the way, when he was showing her around the house, he distinctly tells her, I distinctly remember him saying to her, this is your room and this is my room. There were two separate bedrooms for them. But after her shower, he goes upstairs and he's like, so something to the effect of what are the sleeping arrangements going to be tonight? And I was like, sir, you said that she had her room and you had your room. So where's the confusion coming from? So he was implying that he would rather sleep with her. And she was like, well, I don't really want the night to end. We're having a good time. We're conversating and I don't want that to end. And so he says, well, we can continue it, up here. And so she's down with that. Right. So homeboy had no shame in his game. He stripped down to his skivvies, right? He stripped all the way down to his underwear, and she was cool with that. She liked what she saw. So they get into bed together under the covers. And to tell you the truth, I felt a little bit awkward watching this because these people had just met and now they're in the bed together canoodling, and I was just kind of like, to me, I felt like, well, I guess if the chemistry is there, the chemistry is there. But I was kind of like, how can you be so comfortable like that with someone that you just met? But anyways, they were very, 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 very comfortable with one another. And so they start the smooching and, whatever. And then he was like, okay, sweet dreams. And he turns around. And I thought that he was going to turn one way and she's going to turn another way. But no, he just turned around and turned off the lights. And then they rolled right back into each other. So needless to say, that first night went extremely well for them. Moving on to Erin, 31 years old, optometrist from Fargo, North Dakota. So this is our first gay person on the show. So he's from Fargo, North Dakota. But he did move to LA for love, and it didn't work out. So he moved back to North Dakota. So the reason why I mentioned that he's gay is because he talks about, he came out to his family. His parents are very, very conservative. And so that's a dynamic, that we need to be aware of. So his parents are conservative, but he said that his parents were really good at accepting him. So there was no issues there. And they're having dinner. And this is when he drops the bomb on his parents and his brother to tell them that I'm going to be leaving because they found a match for me and it is outside of the United States. And so the brother is asking a lot of questions. The mother is very, very worried, and dad is just eating his dinner. So the mom is like, oh no, are you going to come back? And he was like, I don't know. It just depends on how things go. I might not come back. So the next day or whatever day it is, Erica tells them that they found a match and he's going to be leaving immediately, ASAP. And so he calls his mom and tells his mom, I'm leaving and I'm leaving today. And the mom, she's so worried about her boy. So he packs up and he gets on the plane and he is excited. He's not having any anxiety. He's not having any fears. He is looking forward to this. Oh, by the way, where is he going? Where is he going? He is going to Paris, France. Okay. That is so cool. He's going to Paris, France. So he he's on the plane. He's excited. He lands in Paris and he goes to the home that he's going to be staying at. On his way there, though, he says, I'm hoping to see Chris Hemsworth. So he's, or the brother of Hemsworth, whatever his name is. So he's looking for like someone who's like looking like a damn Hemsworth. So he gets to the door, rings the doorbell, the door opens, and Mael opens the door, 28 years old, massage therapist. He's definitely not a Hemsworth. Okay, far from it, but he is adorable and so sweet. So it's raining outside and Mael had the wherewithal to come out with an umbrella. So he comes out with an umbrella, holds the umbrella over Erin's head, and they're talking, introducing themselves to one another. And then they go inside, and when they go inside the building, they were going to take the elevator, or Erin was expecting to take the elevator, but the elevator was like literally like this big. It was super tiny. Super tiny. The elevator was so tight that they had to put in the luggage and send the luggage up by itself because there was no way that two people and a suitcase were going to fit in that elevator. I don't even see how one person could fit there comfortably, especially if you're a little bit above average size. There is no way. That elevator was super tiny. So they get in the elevator, or they don't get in the elevator. They take the stairs. The luggage gets in the elevator. And then in his apartment is really tiny. It's super small. Very tiny. I guess, Paris living is a lot like New York living, where the real estate is minuscule. So, there's that awkwardness, getting to know each other and etc. It was very awkward. And Aaron was kind of like, it's very small. It's a very tiny apartment. And the bed, like, he was bigger and taller than the bed. The bed was on the floor. I don't know if it was like a futon or an air mattress or what it was. And Aaron is a big guy. He's really, really tall. And so for him to to have to get down on the floor to go to sleep on a bed that's shorter than him, I don't know how he's going to do it. But hopefully, there's enough attraction and chemistry between him and Mael that, it's not going to matter. But that is the show. Those are the 4 people that we met in the very first episode. So far, so good. But I'm still getting this overwhelming feeling of these people are just here for fame and popularity. They don't really give a damn about finding love. And they're probably all going to end up coming back to America. Which is sad. It sucks, but I'm used to it now. After years and years of watching 90 Day Fiance, Married at First Sight, Love is Blind, all of these, dating shows, love shows, relationship shows, I'm used to it now. I'm used to the fact that, everything starts off so well, and then it all turns to crap halfway through, and then, nobody stays together. Thank you for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please do not forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll most definitely talk to you later. Bye.